And so the more that you can share on these Google images and these Google videos, the more that some people that are on the fence about calling you, or if they are looking at 3 or 4 or 5 different places to call, the more content that you can have on your Google business listing. Hey, welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get your physical therapy practice found on Google and Google Maps. We're specifically talking about Google My Business. And I posted something recently on LinkedIn about the best way to grow your physical therapy practice with online marketing is with more Google reviews. And Tony Maritato jumped on it. He says that he strongly disagreed. He said, I was wrong. He said the best thing to be doing right now in 2024 is be putting out video, which is kind of funny because he did mention like what I'm doing here, which is what, putting out some video more for the buying and partnerships and acquiring practices. We're selling our practices, but the same type of stuff works for your physical therapy practice, PT, OT, SLP, whatever it might be, whether you're brick and mortar, whether you are mobile, solo with a team or not, whatever it might be. So let's get into it. I'm using right now, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, you're not going to see this, but on YouTube, jump over. We've got a screen share of White Spark. If you haven't heard of White Spark, I have no affiliation with them, but they provide a lot of stuff online that can help you with SEO and things like that, and searchability and findability. And this is their local pack. They're finding how to be found, their local search rankings and the finding factors of how to be found on Google Maps. So if you follow some of these things, the number one factor in your practice, your business being found on Google is the primary GBP category. So it's basically Google Business Profile. This used to be called Google My Business, GMB. So if I happen to say GMB, I basically mean the same thing here, which is GPB, which is Google Business Profile. But it's all the same type of stuff. It's how your practice is listed on Google to be found on Google and Google Maps. So anyway, the primary category is usually going to be physical therapy or physical therapist or physical therapy clinic, whatever it might be. If you do home health, maybe it's home health, but those are the standard. Like if you're a physical therapist, it's like the main thing that you pick when you set up your profile. And I'm not going to walk you through right now of creating a profile. This is more for practice owners that are already up and running, that are looking to get more Google reviews and all that. And so the next thing here, factor number 2 in being found on Google is keywords in your Google Business Profile business title. Now, here's an example. Why don't we switch over? I'm going to show you how my practice is listed, concierge pain relief, and we do home physical therapy here in New York City. And let me switch over, sharing my screen, switching to an incognito browser. And so right here, I'm on Google Maps. Let me just type in, and we're going to do this on the fly, home PT Manhattan, and sharing my screen right now. Let me get the video out of the way. And 1, 2, 3, 4, we show up 4th, and the number 1 slot has 5 reviews. The second slot has 14 reviews. The third slot has 4 reviews, and we have 98 reviews. So maybe it's because I've looked up my own business several times here, even on this incognito browser, as to why I show up 4th here. But nonetheless, I'm still above the fold. Meaning, if you're seeing on YouTube now, sharing the screen, my practice is listed 4th before I even have to scroll down. So in terms of searchability, findability, that's great. Obviously, there's so much more competition with physical therapy in Manhattan, in New York City, for general physical therapy, meaning brick and mortar and clinics, right? So there's way more competition there. But in terms of home physical therapy, because our therapists go to our patients and clients, there's a little less competition. And also we have a ton of reviews. So if someone else searches home physical therapy, home PT, and they're in the New York City area, certainly if they search it on Google Maps, we'll definitely come up in the top 4. And obviously, part of that is the volume and number of Google reviews that we have. So right now we have 98. I'm going to click on it. And this is the number 2, or the second factor, as to searchability and findability. So I kind of, 5 or so years ago or whatever, when I named my practice, I didn't want it just to be like city home physical therapy, or, I don't know, Northern home physical therapy, or Luna physical therapy, or whatever. And everyone has different ways with branding and marketing and all that. But here, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to zoom in now. I specifically have these 6 words as my business title on Google. So everywhere on Google, whether it's when I created the Google business listing, now called Google Business Profile, whatever, concierge pain relief dash home physical therapy. So if your practice is freedom physical therapy or whatever, you could have other keywords in there like pain relief or performance or wellness or whatever the keyword that you want to target, that you know that your prospective patient and client, whatever you know that they are Googling and searching. What are they looking for? Are they looking for longevity? Are they looking for wellness? Are they looking for sports medicine? Are they looking for performance? Whatever those words are that they happen to type into Google, you need to be knowing those things. You need to be asking your new patients and clients as they call you and they contact you, what are they typing in? So since we go to our patients and clients, I originally used this word and term concierge. We included, or I included, it was my decision. I included pain relief. So basically we're concierge pain relief, which is great for the orthopedic conditions out there, not so great for the neurological balance, gait, Parkinson's, MS, stroke, all those folks, because they see pain relief. And if they have a neurological condition, they might not be in pain, but they still want this, which is the home physical therapy. If they have some of those conditions and it's harder for them to travel to a brick and mortar office, especially in New York City, some of them are within walking distance, and some they would need to take a cab or an Uber or Lyft or whatever. So the second most important factor in a practice or a business being found on Google is this slot right here, which is like the name of the business, and the name of your business could be, let's just say if it was concierge pain relief, and then you add home diagnostics, or I don't know, any other keywords that you want to be known for. So run lab, running performance, sports performance, return to sports, whatever. So this part could be your business, but then these other parts are keywords. Here's another example. I have another business listing, and again, you'll see this on YouTube if you are watching the screen share, where I have another business listing where I use sciatica relief, or what is that, sciatica and back pain or something like that. Yeah, right here. Okay. So here's another one of my business listings, just because I always want to test things. I want to see what else is possible and different. So here's another business listing here where instead of physical therapist, I use home healthcare service because I want someone to see this and not think we're a brick and mortar clinic. And instead of concierge pain relief, instead of home physical therapy, the business listing, the title of this business listing is sciatica and back pain relief. And if someone sees that and they're in a lot of pain or have sciatica or whatever, who do you think they're going to call? You think they're going to call this number here? And then you'll see in the normal business listing here, sorry, let me zoom out and zoom back in, conciergepainrelief.com. They can call this number. This will go to our answering service, which will get picked up. The phone calls get picked up 24/7. And you can go through and we have some pictures here, which we'll get into. And I think this one only has one review. So obviously we haven't focused a lot of time in having reviews on this particular business profile. But nonetheless, the point of showing you this is think outside the box. You could have other business listings. You could use, whether you're brick and mortar or you can do a radius of coverage here. So for a business listing, it could omit a street address, but you could say that you want to service whatever metro area, but you could still use these keywords that your ideal or your target patients or clients are using. So in this case, sciatica and back pain relief. And of course, we get some people that call this number, and I mean, it's all the same number, but we can look at the tracking of clicks and all that on the back end of Google, and we can kind of see, obviously, there's sometimes that people click on this if they don't have back pain or sciatica, they have shoulder pain or they have some other issue or whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And so let's go back to Home PT Manhattan as we are sharing the screen here on Google Maps. We'll click on mine again. So concierge pain relief, home physical therapy. And so here's one thing. You want to have photos. You want to add photos as much as possible. And there was something a year or 2 or 3 ago, Google, after a certain amount of time, it deletes these photos, and as well as any of your updates and posts on the Google platform, it'll delete them. So you have to add new ones over time, right? And so obviously you want to get your consent, the consent of your patients and clients. And as we scroll down here, what you'll see is we've added photos, we've added at least 1 or more videos, and those will be kind of teased out with Google. They kind of separate it. So here's a video. Let's see. I don't know if the volume will come through, but this is This is us using this device called, here's the video here. Okay, so I just zoomed out. So I'm just going to mute that in case you hear it. So this is us using this portable device called the STEM pod for pulse radio frequency for this particular patient. You can see that we're using this device on their anterior tibialis for foot drop and for better walking and gait, so that their foot clears when they go to walk and stand. That's just one video here. And let's go back to, oh, I totally got out of it. Let's go back to the photos, and you can see 18 days ago, it says right here, I just saw it said 18 days ago, we added these photos, right? So here's someone receiving therapeutic cupping. Here's a patient or client doing some sidestepping in their kitchen, again, because we do home visits. So this individual is doing some sidestepping across the countertop. A video here, I mean, here's one, patient or client giving a thumbs up to the therapist. Therapist has their hand in front of the camera. So like, obviously they're engaged, they're happy, they're smiling, they're pumped, they're excited about their home physical therapy. And so the more that you can share on these Google images and these Google videos, the more that some people that are on the fence about calling you, or if they are looking at 3 or 4 or 5 different places to call, the more content that you can have on your Google business listing, reviews, pictures, videos. And ideally, we're going to talk about reviews in a second. And I'm going to show you some of my, and I probably have more videos or pictures here. Let's get out of this. The more with keywords we want to talk about with the actual reviews. So let's get back out of this. Okay. So now reviews. Let's go to my reviews. We're going to click on most recent or newest. There's all these little keywords here: exercises, surgery, diagnosed, evaluation, skilled, shoulder, injury, walk, lower back, all that type of stuff. So here's a Google review from 6 hours ago. Now, I would rather have a Google review that says like thumbs up or thanks or something. I would rather that than nothing at all. So this review from 6 hours ago, they wrote, perfect, fast and efficient, I recommend. All right. Now this person I know because I spoke with, and one of my therapists went and evaluated and treated them. English is their second language. They were from France. They were visiting New York City. And one of my team members went in and provided treatment in the hotel room. So I'm fine with this. Perfect, fast, and efficient. I recommend. English is not their first language. No problem at all. Ideally, you want something, the Google reviews, when you ask a patient or client, and you need to ask them several times, and people get busy and they will forget. And you should email them. You should text them. You can have an email autoresponder to send them reminders of writing you a Google review or posting and sharing a Google review of your practice, of your services. Some folks will need reminders. The best is to give them a reason, not what's in it for you, because what's in it for you and I is we get better SEO and Google searchability and findability and all that. What's in it for them is you need to remind them, hey, Matt, hey, Matthew, I'm circling back. I'm following up on the Google review. You said that you would write one. I would truly appreciate it. I know you're super busy, but your Google review will help other people like you find us online. So this individual here, shoulder pain, he wrote, had a blocked nerve and shoulder pain. And so you could say to someone like this person here, hey, Matthew, once they say, yes, I'm interested, or yes, I'll write a Google review, whatever, some people are like, no, I don't want to do that publicly. Okay, no problem. Some people are like, no, I don't have a Google, I don't have a Gmail or a Google My Business, or excuse me. Some people say they don't have a Gmail account or whatever. They only have Yahoo, or they don't use email at all. So if they don't have a Gmail account, then obviously they can't write you a Google review. So no problem, you move on. But the ones that say, yes, I have a Google review or I have a Google account and I will be happy to share a Google review, no problem. Then you just need to follow up with those folks. And ideally, you want to say to them things like, this review will help other people like you that have shoulder pain or back pain or a blocked nerve or whatever that their words are. You'll help other people with shoulder pain in Brooklyn, or you'll help other people with shoulder pain in Manhattan find us easier so that they can get the results that you got. How cool is that, right? So that's what's in it for them. They get to feel like they're elevated, they're in the spotlight, they're being highlighted. They truly love that. It's always great when patients or clients write about your other therapist, right? Because I'm assuming if you want to grow your practice and eventually sell it one day, it cannot be all about you. So I would suggest that as much as possible, you ask your patients or clients to mention their team members by name, or you can incentivize your therapist by saying, hey, we'll give you performance bonuses if you have your patients or clients, first of all, just write any Google review at all, or if they write a Google review with your name in it. So in this case here, Mo, this patient, Adam, wrote, Mo was an excellent PT. He took the time to develop a thorough treatment plan that was suitable for my goals and then progressed through the plan nicely. He was always on time and the utmost professional. I would recommend him highly to anyone in need who wants to get to a place that is better than before surgery. Awesome. And so ideally, and sometimes the longer reviews are great because they truly look legitimate. Some people say that they look fake. You want to ask your patients, you want to say to them, hey, not just I would recommend you, or you're nice and you're professional, all that, but a before and after. So let me see if I can find a before and after one here. And so here's one. It's kind of long. Maybe I'll just read a little bit of it. But this family member wrote that we were a lifesaver. Mother was in hospital, had hip surgery. And then you can see here, this person wrote my name, Steve. So David, Steve, Chris, absolutely top-notch physical therapist. We were seeing them for a while, so I think I met them once. And then Steve and Chris took over for the plan of care. And then also we provided a CNA, a certified nursing assistant, to stay there for home care, which we do, which is a little bit of a side thing, but it's still part of it for home care and kind of care coordination and continuity. And so this person wrote all about different keywords that helped me. So they wrote about rehabbing their mother's hip as well as her knees. So all these keywords help: knees, hips, all these things. Exercises. We don't great. We're doing exercises and we want to help people move better. Here's something. I am honestly not sure what we would have done without them. And I love this here. This is another thing too, which is which is always funny. It is not inexpensive, but if you can scrape together the funds, it is absolutely the way to go. In a better world, everyone would have access to this level of healthcare. Geez, man. Well, I mean, yes, we're not cheap. We are premium, whether it's the home care, the licensed or unlicensed care providers that we have for overnights and just unskilled home care for our patients and clients, or the physical therapy, the 60-minute visits that we provide. I love this. I'm cool with this. For a patient or a family member to write on Google that we are, basically this is saying they're expensive or they're premium. It is not inexpensive, but if you can scrape together the funds, it is absolutely the way to go. Listen, we're not for everyone. You watching or listening to this, you're not for everyone. We don't accept every insurance. We're accepting out-of-network insurances. And for the home care stuff, the care companions and the unlicensed folks that we have that do overnights that are vetted, trusted, and respected by our team, and we know them and we've known them for years, and I've hired them and I've vetted them. It's a process to get those types of folks. And so for us, it's those care companions and the licensed or unlicensed providers that do 8 hours a day, 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, or whatever. I mean, we have some care companions that would do a week or two nonstop, around the clock, a week or two for one of our clients that comes out of a rehab facility that gets discharged from a hospital or whatever. And oftentimes a patient, a family member that calls us early enough in a day, sometimes we can figure out all of that for that night, a care companion overnight. So I like to have some of this, in the Google reviews publicly for other people to read. Anyway, you can scroll through, but again, you want to here's a good one with before and after, because patients and clients are not going to know what to write for the Google reviews. Again, the more Google reviews, the better. Sometimes if I scroll through here, there might be here, this Google review literally just says highly recommended. I mean, that's not going to help on Google much, but the fact that it is a Google review is better than nothing. But you want to have a before and after. So here's a before and after Google review. This is this is perfect. In just 2 weeks, he has helped my balance, confidence, and independence. Plus, it has boosted my mood, which is priceless. He also treated my husband as well. I highly recommend him in his practice. Thanks. All right, whatever. But that doesn't matter. What is great is like in just 2 weeks, I went from this to this, or see if I can find another one. Here's one, no words at all, but again, it's better than nothing at all. Here's one, this Google review here showed me stretches, best practices to treat the cause, prevent future outbreaks. So this patient or client wrote, I went from thinking that I'd be forever limited in what sports I could play to doing sprinting workouts within 2 weeks of our session. Can't recommend him highly enough. So you want to have a before and after. You want to be like, hey, to the patient or client, like, here's where you were. Remember, here's where you were when you started, and here's where you are now. And those types of things, the before and afters are certainly what can help the public understand your value proposition in Google review format. But the value proposition is like, all they care about is like, they're in this position now, they're in pain, they have dysfunction, impairment, they can't walk or move, they can't play sports, whatever, they can't read or work or live or do the things that they love to do. But after X amount of time or X amount of visits or X amount of days or weeks or whatever, they are now, 60% better, 70, 80, 100% better, whatever, in that timeline. And here's the thing, I mentioned this on other shows, other episodes, do not wait for the end of the plan of care to ask for a Google review. You need to ask for a Google review at the peak of happiness. Sometimes the peak of happiness could be on the first visit or the second visit, where you get, you do a certain knee mobilization, and then they have 7 out of 10 knee pain with knee stiffness when they squat or bend. And you do a certain knee mobilization, a tib fib, anterior drawer test type of mobilization. And then you have them recheck their squat. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's like my knee pain is like 3 out of 10 now. And I have more range of motion. I can go deeper. That's incredible. Like and the patient says, oh, I tried, ibuprofen and knee sleeves and ice and heat. And I wish I came to you, 2 or 3 months ago, because I've been dealing with this knee stiffness or this knee pain for so long. And all you did was a simple knee mobilization that actually loosened up the knee joint. And now they can squat deeper, less pain, more range of motion. For that type of person, I would be like, hey, that's incredible. I'm so pumped for you. This is awesome. It's only going to get better from here. You're not 100% out of the woods yet. This is going to take you another 3 to 5 to 10 or whatever visits, depending on your clinical judgment and your plan of care. But what I'm going to do, I would love for you to share that on Google. Do you have a Gmail account, or do you ever post Google reviews? And they'll say yes or no. And if they say yes, hey, I would love for you to share your happiness about what we just did on that knee mobilization. They don't care about writing. You don't care about them writing about the knee mobilization. All you care about is them writing something like, I came in to this physical therapist who I didn't even know if they were going to be able to help me or not. After treating me for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever, I went from a 7 out of 10 knee pain with squatting to a 3 out of 10 knee pain with squatting. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of my visits and appointments with this physical therapist. Boom, submit that, because it's the before and after. These are the things that are helping you mostly be found on Google. Obviously, things like the proximity of the searcher to wherever the proximity of the person searching for your services in relation to the address listed on your Google business listing. Obviously, that helps as well. And there's many other factors, which I'll link below, or Nate, my podcast team, if you guys can link below, I'll share the White Spark website. The other factors, like the physical address in the city, obviously those things are pretty high up there. So obviously your local brick and mortar address is going to be near or in a certain radius to X amount of people searching for physical therapy or pain relief or sports medicine or whatever. Obviously, you need to have your Google business profile verified. So you need to put that in, submit that over your business listing or Google business profile. They'll mail you Google will mail you a paper envelope with like a 5-digit code, 5 or 6-digit code. You put that in once you receive it in a couple of weeks or whatever. You put it into your Google business listing profile. It verifies that it's a legit real address and not like a PO box or whatever. And obviously just go into your Google business listing profile, your Google business profile, and Google will tell you like other areas that you haven't completed yet. And you just need to complete all those areas. That's the 12th factor of how many factors are here listed? Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. 149 different factors. That's why I'm not covering them all right now with you. Another thing is the age of your Google business profile. So like obviously like the longer time that you're on Google as a business, like you're going to benefit from that as opposed to a new startup or a new business that just popped up, I don't know, like a year or so ago, and it's going to not be relevant or it's not going to be ranked as high via Google. So the longer you're around in business, obviously those things help. There's so much more here. I think that's it for now, but I think I harped on enough of the Google business listing. So what are some immediate takeaways for you in your practice? Okay, whether it's you or someone on your team. Number one, you need to be asking more people for Google reviews. If you have someone that comes in and you help them, ask them, like, I would love it, you know, if they love you and they're most of the time patients love you and trust you and all that, try to give a Google review from the patient. Also try to ask for a Google review from the spouse or whoever is coming with them. So if there's a friend or a spouse or whatever, and if they saw them, you know, your treatment or they're impressed with your facility or the warmth of your front desk person or whatever, those types of things, this is a pray and spray model. You want to ask as many of your patients and clients and family members for Google reviews. So a sibling or a spouse or a partner of one of your patients, you could just say in there, like, yeah, you could just write in the Google review, like you are a spouse or sibling or partner or whatever of a patient or a client that's currently getting treatment from Concierge Pain Relief, and that you've seen them go from, you know, limping or falling, we'll say limping too often to now they're walking better, more stable, falling less often, whatever. Again, consider the before and after, and as well as mentioning other things that you want to highlight in your clinic. So if you have an Alter-G, or if you do dry needling, if you do run lab, sports lab, whatever, like whatever those things you want to highlight, nicely ask them or message them the link, the direct link to this Google business listing, and say, hey, can you put that in there? Can you put the Alter-G or the dry needling or the run lab or the diagnostics or assessment or whatever those keywords are that you want to be found for, pain relief or home physical therapy, whatever it might be, you want to ask them nicely to put those keywords into the Google review. You don't want to like influence the review too much, because you want it to be typed out naturally, and you want other consumers in your area to believe that it's a legit Google review, because it is. So you don't want it to be too artificial, but any of these keywords will help, and those things go a long way. So like here's an overview of some of my other Google reviews. So here's things like services. This word is bolded. Pain medication. I don't know why that's bolded, but I was treated with muscle relaxers and pain medication without any relief. So this was someone saying that they tried pain relief medications before they saw us. And then this preview, what a great service. It's greatly improved my dad's quality of life, and quality of life is bolded. So like, this is Google telling you, like, here's some of the bolded words that are usually the search queries or the most important words that will help Google direct these folks to you. And this will help your Google business listing be elevated and be higher and higher on the organic listing. I think that's it for now. If this helps, subscribe to the show. We'll catch you next time here. And these are things that will help you and your practice grow in 2024. And if you're looking to partner or sell some of your practice or sell all of it, feel free to reach out to us at fieldmakergroup.com. We'll catch you next time here. Thanks, guys. Bye now. Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com, or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.